can't just let go of the wheel.
Well, can you be emotional without having emotional attachment?
That's a good question. Yeah.
If you're constantly getting pulled up or pulled down or sideways, what you're doing then is you're not taking it, looking at it, appreciating it in the moment before letting it go. You're literally just going, nope, that doesn't exist. Sucking it all in and just jamming it down and, making yourself a nice little pipe bomb inside there.
I mean, that's a pretty solid analogy because, yeah, you keep stuffing like that, that thing will go off.
I'm going to take this. I'm going to look at it. I kind of done the same thing before when getting physically injured. Emotionally, like you want to just do this. Like it's not happening. I'm thinking about something else. Like you try to separate yourself from the pain. And a couple times when I've really injured myself, I literally went into the pain.
I'm going to go to my happy place. I'm going to go to my happy place. It's like, no, you will live in this right here. You will feel this. You are human. You have to.
I'm telling you, man.
Did you want to do the revisit for the Valentine's episode like we were talking about, or?
How would you like to go about that? I haven't really given that much thought.
Just drawing from the fact of we were talking about your NDE specifically when, you fell, hit your head, all that stuff.
I felt like you were there to...
I was there and more or less saved your life. I didn't literally give you like CPR and all that kind of stuff, but the fact that I flipped shit and woke up in entire neighborhoods that we got ambulance and everything else there ASAP is what made the difference. So
your connection being that we were there for each other during some of our darkest moments.
Absolutely.
And yours being, how many years ago was that now?
4.
Four?
Right, about 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were doing audio only.
4 to 5, somewhere?
No, just over 4 because it was Valentine's Day. It was literally on Valentine's Day. I was on my way home, just having a really rough couple of months, and then that night, literally on my way home, and just breaking down on the phone to you, where I more or less stated is I'm good. Like it just doesn't matter anymore. Which I think you took to the extreme of I was potentially going to harm myself. And it was more I just didn't give a shit anymore.
It's a pretty easy leap.
Especially with the language I was using. I agree.
I get it more now, like what you're talking about. I would label it more like an existential crisis. Like you get to a point where, like sadness and depression. Sadness comes about from situations within your life. Like it's something tractable. Like something happens and you're sad. Something happens and you're happy.
Okay.
Depression is more like you get to a point where you're just like, I'm tired of being this person anymore.
Okay.
I'm done playing this game.
Yeah.
Like I need a rest from this.
And I took it a little bit further than that because it wasn't I need a rest from this. It was
I'm good if I'm done.
Because as I put it to you is I've done enough that I've left a good mark, with the people that I've had in my life that I've shown, helped raise, just been that proper influence that gave them enough. I gave them enough influence that they themselves were also going to have a good life, having known me. So I had touched enough people. Yes, I'm aware. I touched enough people in that positive.
You were justifying though.
But not even justifying. It was literally, I'm good. If what I've done has made this much of an influence, really don't need to add any more. Not that it wouldn't benefit additionally. I mean, obviously it would be good if I could continue and do that, but didn't matter to me anymore. I was good. So yeah, if something were to happen literally the next day, it'd just be like, fuck it. I'm good.
And it's weird because it's not the type of situation where it's like now you can look back and say I'm good. Like I'm good, but at the same time, it's because I went through all these other things in the process, and not that I still don't understand where that person is because it's still in here, right? But um, having experiences like we did together, watching The Last Shaman, having experiences like that where I've never been to that point before, but I was pretty much drawn to tears within the first like 15 minutes of the movie, mainly because it's so weird to see somebody clinically describing what their plan is. And that he said like I think at the time he said I'm giving myself 10 months.
No, a year.
Well, I think what he had left was at the time
Correct.
was 10
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
He said I'm giving myself a year, right? I have 10 months left to figure something out. And if I don't, I'm giving myself the go ahead that I can end this mortal coil.
Yep. Just be done with it.
So last ditch effort, he on a whim doesn't know anybody, anything in the area, and just goes to Peru.
Yep.
And finds himself. And that's finding himself on the way to finding his shaman, which was a whole journey in itself.
Right. That was the irony of that is he went to find a shaman so he could do the ayahuasca treatment in hopes that it would fix him, when lo and behold, the journey of doing that is where he found his peace, which absolutely beautiful. I mean,
well, the whole journey, but he started realizing it on these little boat travels to finally getting to, hey, this is where I need to be. This is my guy. I mean, he thought he had it. Like, I think the third guy that he found, he thought he had somebody, but he's like, that guy literally told him, I'm a charlatan. 90%, 95%, maybe even 98% of the guys out here are charlatans. They're in this for the money. Their product is
trash.
It's trash. It's the same chemical components, but they don't do it right. It's watered down. And there's no ceremony behind it.
It's like bathtub gin. They just put it together.
This is spirit work. Like you can't do this at a street side vendor kind of thing. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Well, yeah, because when he found the last shaman, the last one that he worked with, he went through a complete cleanse of, he's smoking wild tobacco from the forest. He's eating wild foods from the forest. So, he's on a very herbal diet. Everything he was ingesting was from the forest.
He had to cleanse for several weeks because he was, I think,
a couple of months actually.
Huh?
A couple of months,
a couple months.
I think so.
Yeah, because he was on some pretty heavy medications. He had to wean himself off. I think that was part of the problem.
Correct.
What he was on was like really, I don't want to say psychoactive drugs, but it was a rash of stuff that he was given for antidepressant.
Yeah, like diazepam or some shit, and different SSRIs, and he was just on a whole regimen of pharmaceuticals.
He had to be completely cleansed of all that, which was a journey in itself, apparently, because he did a whole regimen after detoxing naturally for maybe several weeks. Like you said, it took a couple months to do the whole process before he could actually go in and do the ayahuasca trip. But that all was the journey that he was having, because the whole time he's learning how to cultivate it. He's learning how to properly extract it, how to cook it. So the whole time, like he's learning how to be one of these, not a shaman yet, but
he's being trained in the ways of a shaman,
doing all the things. And I think at the end of it, they're basically, his shaman was calling him out, like, you're built for this. You need to do this. Anyway, back to the original story of you, it was in experiencing other things like that, where like your view on the matter, I think, became a little bit more don't even want to say crystallized, but maybe that was part of what like Jung would say, accepting the shadow self or something to that effect.
Yeah, I would say that was probably the beginning of me truly dropping the ego.
That
Yeah,
would track. Yeah.
I mean, not to say that that was exactly what it was, but um, yeah, I mean that. Yeah, I would say that that definitely was probably the moment when. Yeah, I mean, retrospect as I'm going back and thinking about it, I just that's when my ego started to disappear.
Well, you were losing the connection with your egoic grip on the world, and I think that's what you were feeling. You were like, I'm not I'm not ready to like off myself. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm just done being concerned about who this guy is anymore.
pretty much.
Which in a way, it doesn't feel like it at the time, but that's actually a step up.
Yeah. Seriousness. Yeah, I can agree to that. Like it just, what I kept saying, as I recall, is I don't care anymore. I just don't care.
It doesn't really drive home what you're really feeling when you say that. Because I don't care, whatever.
Well, yeah,
When you
yeah.
hear that on the other end, it's like, well, I don't care anymore. It's like, well, that's not exactly it either. Like, I care, but I'm not interested in maintaining whoever this guy is anymore. Like, and that's what you've been saying for the past year, almost, on repeat, is that I'm just trying to be. You keep saying that. I'm just trying to be. And I think that's kind of mirroring your understanding of, okay, that's where I'm from. I don't want to go back to that.
Yeah.
That was I got birthed from that. That's why it was painful.
Mm.
I came out of that and now I'm here. And maybe that's your way of saying, look, I'm just ready to just be. Like I'm cool with just putting this on cruise control and just enjoying the view, see where it takes me and enjoy it. Do my best, like you say, to be that spark, that love and light, that
Yeah.
if nothing else for yourself, so you can get up and look at yourself in the morning, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, see, and I think had you not just shown up, what I was feeling and thinking most likely would have gotten to that dark place in that sense. Um, because recalling from that recording, you and I both shared some very, very deep stuff, some very deep rooted, held on to memories
mm,
that were, without us realizing, guiding us in a sense. And us sharing that, being vulnerable, crying like a couple of little bitches for a while, I think was probably the thing that I did need to keep me from getting to that place because yeah, I very much didn't care anymore. And literally, F it all. I really keeping a job, showing up for people. None of it made sense to me anymore. That's why, just said earlier was that's when the ego really started to die with me because I could understand that there was a greater purpose to all of this behind, even just me being here. So while I don't care in that regard, I care very deeply. And I think that was the bigger part that was harder for me to deal with is because while I attempt to, as I say more times than not, is I don't live in that world. I was attempting to not live in that world anymore. I was wanting to let go of that person, that people pleasing, always there for everyone else, never asking for anything, and it completely destroyed me. I realized that I couldn't care in that fashion anymore, but it's difficult to not do that because that's how I'm wired. I'm just supposed to love. Um, yeah, if you had not shown up to force us to communicate through this, you and I both got to share some things that I think brought decent healing for both of us.
And in expressing the things I expressed that night, had it not been for going through those things at a really young age, I might not have heard what I heard on the phone that made me. That was a very personal thing for me.
It's time to
Because now
find
it's
out now,
like
yeah. Well, then, but
someone else that I really care for is now contemplating something I almost couldn't stop the first time. And it's a scary thought. I mean, I grew wings that night, you know.
you made it
I
here
kissed
fast.
everybody good night, and I was like, I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it was
grabbed my
literally
bag
Valentine's
and
Day, and you're like, deuces, I gotta bounce.
I gotta go. So
Even though my guy's not asking for me, I need to go take care of my guy.
like I said, because what I heard was, this is the chance you missed. Don't miss it again. You know,
Okay.
that's what my heart was telling me. It's like, well, if this is somebody's reaching out to you that cares about you enough to reach out to you during a time when obviously they're going through something,
Yeah.
you know, don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers if this is the last chance you had to speak to somebody that you care about. And it's hard not to, and I guess I didn't realize it until after I was already, you know, here and talking to you and hitting record and all that stuff, that it started to occur to me why it was bothering me so much.
Well, yeah, because as you and I pointed out, the big lesson while the two of us were crying, we basically, I recall my statements were, I don't care who you are, what the situation is, don't finish a conversation or an argument with nothing but pain and suffering. Say I love you, say I'll see you tomorrow, something of that. When you have an opportunity to truly love someone, take that moment and enjoy it, share it, be a part of it. Don't let that slip away, because you may not get that chance again. And again, that's where I think I really was starting to let go of that ego, because my actions have consequences no matter what. And I started to have a greater sense of understanding that, because my bigger thing is, when I was younger than that, I definitely had those kinds of thoughts before. I'd more than a few times been in a situation where it could have happened. And I always stopped myself because I felt I had to be here for others. It was never about being here for myself. And I think after that recording, I started to understand that I had to be here for me to be here for others. So if I was truly going to serve, I had to take care of me first. And that's why that expression of I no longer care. And it's not because I don't care, because I obviously do, but I can't live in that world anymore. I can't let that be my guiding light. That can't be my purpose. I can't be here just to please others. That's not healthy for anyone, and especially somebody who is a very deep, empathetic soul that just wants to love. You got to love you too.
It's easy to forget that. It's really easy to forget that.
Yeah.
You try to make it up with all kinds of other things.
Well, that honestly is a big reason why, a lot of people have addictions. It's, they're hiding, they're masking, but they're also opting to do that because that's the shortcut to feel loved. To have that.
I hate to say it, but I think men in particular suffer more from that side of things, because in a lot of cases we don't have the kind of person like this that we can talk to. And if we do it different anyway, you know what I mean? Like,
well, but we were also raised with the understanding that, men are supposed to be strong. Men are supposed to be the providers. Men are supposed to be that rock. Well, yeah, but we still have emotions and feelings, and we should talk about shit. But you couldn't do that because you were seen as weak or inferior.
so we were trained maybe even to the genetic level to learn how to shut it off. But that's also part of the problem, because many of us out there never turn it back on. And all of that pent up energy, it's got to go somewhere. And I've heard it said it's going to leak out.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it'll leak out, you know, in violent acts. It'll leak out in alcohol or drug abuse. It'll leak out in, I don't know, I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, just more of the same, you know.
Yeah.
But it'll find its way out if you don't find a way to communicate about it. So
Yeah, you can only stuff things down so far and for so long before it piles up to the point that it literally overflows and you can't stop it. It's breaking the dam.
but maybe what happened to you that night was, or that day leading up to that night, you felt the persona of you was so heavily weighed down, I think, that it just started to detach itself. You know?
You know, that's a good point. I like the way you. That's a good point. I like the way you put that, to detach itself. You know, calling it killing the ego or dropping the ego, but yeah, detached.
Yeah, that persona, you know, got so heavy laden that it just tore itself free. And that's kind of what you were feeling is, I don't even care about that down there anymore. I'm not done with this. I don't care. And it's not in a bad way. I don't care.
And I think more of it was me coming to the realization is that I had to turn it off, me actually caring. So even though I have not stopped caring or loving or being aware of others, it's not utilizing that in a fashion to overwhelm myself, to become so immersed in people pleasing, easiest way to put it, that I get lost, because I had lost myself over and over and over again. And I saw myself removing me from relationships that could have been using me. And I was too focused on trying to fix things that weren't even mine to fix. And I got lost in that. And that was the people pleasing part of me that I was drowning in. And yeah, I had to not let those things get at me, which is why I say I just don't care anymore, even though I care very deeply. I no longer want to live in that world.
Or I can't care anymore.
I just do zero F's given at this point.
But not so much you know, as a
literal. Yeah.
I'm good. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just chilling now. I'm gonna leave it slack. We're gonna do our thing.
But there was also a sense of, I think you had said, put it on autopilot, basically. Just see what the F happens. And that's not a healthy place to be either. I mean, mind you, it's good to let things go and just be, but you can't just let go of the wheel.
Well, can you be emotional without having emotional attachment?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah.
You know, because there's nothing wrong with being emotional.
Of course
but
not.
It's like, if you're constantly getting pulled up or pulled down or sideways, you know, like, do you have a steady line? Can you keep a steady line and still enjoy the emotional ups and downs? Like, how do you get it, look at it, appreciate it, and let it go? That's the tough part, you know, without grabbing it, sucking it all in, and just jamming it down, and you know, making yourself a nice little pipe bomb inside there.
I mean, that's a pretty solid analogy, because you keep stuffing like that, that thing will go off. Yeah, agreed.
Instead, you know, because what you're doing then is you're not taking it, looking at it, appreciating it in the moment before letting it go. You're literally just going, nope, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So it's just in that, I'm going to take this, I'm going to look at it. I kind of, done the same thing before when getting physically injured. And I don't know where I learned to do that from. But
Probably all the concussions.
well, so often when you get injured, like emotionally, like you want to just do this. Like it's not happening. I'm thinking about something else. Like you try to separate yourself from the pain. And a couple times when I've really injured myself, I literally went into the pain. And sometimes I think you really just need to do that. You need to go into the pain to get out of it. You know, because then in your microscopic inspection of the pain center,
Yeah.
you realize that there's nothing to it.
You know, as you're saying that brought up a memory of drawing from Fight Club when he pours the lye or whatever on him and gets the chemical burn. He's like, I'm going to go to my happy place. I'm going to go to my happy place. He's like, no, you will live in this right here. You will feel this. You are human. You have to.
There is something to that, though.
I was getting tattooed, and it was on my right leg, which was on the top of my foot. And that shit really hurt. And I was just like, yeah, you know what? Okay.
That's a huge fascial layer right there, too.
But tattoos to me, it never hurt. They were just like, all right, yeah, you know, okay. I mean, heck, I fell asleep a lot of the times. Yeah. I really did. It was almost meditative for me. And I remember it was the first time I had actually truly felt pain getting a tattoo that I was just like, you know what? Just going to go to my happy place. We'll be fine. And then that scene popped in my head and I was like, no. I got to live in this pain.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. I have
the other direction.
I have to accept this. This is a moment to exist and be present. Do it. And I did. That shit hurt, but it was also freeing.
You're like, no, look at it. Look at it.
I actually did. I was watching it and everything. Typically I would watch just because I'm just, oh, that's cool looking. Oh, look at, mesmerized in a sense.
This time you're like,
And I truly embraced the moment. Yeah.
Don't look away. Don't shy away. Don't try to pull you're like.
Live in the moment. Just be.
Just be. Like, oh, that's an interesting sensation.
Yeah, pretty much. No, that's exactly what it was. But yeah, and so going, as we always get off track, but
not really.
I mean, it's pertinent, but still, the fact that you had showed up for that, the fact that I didn't ask for it, as you put it, you were given the opportunity, somebody who felt it was important to express how they felt to you, you saw as an opportunity to do something about it, and you did. And had you not done that, yeah, I probably really would have gone to that dark place, and I quite possibly would not be here right now. Which is why I've always said in that situation, because
during the conversation, you were downplaying it.
Well, no, I mean, I
don't think you really knew what was going on. I think you just.
But I was also attempting to make sense of my feelings in it all.
Yeah.
I knew that I was overwhelmed. I knew that I was beyond inundated. I knew that I was exhausted from it all. And that I was attempting to make peace with it. So having that understanding of living in that moment, but making peace with how I felt. You have to have some form of logic behind the emotion, which don't exactly connect per se, but that's what I was attempting to do.
And you think without having a somewhat of a guiding light during that period of time that you could have spiraled down really easily?
Oh, easily. Yeah. Because
I know by the time I got here, like you weren't. That was the weird thing about it. Like, I never got depressed. Wasn't really the right word. Like something else was going on, but I had to treat it like depression because that's what it felt like, but it was, something was different about it.
Yeah.
And it was a lot had to do with around the way that you worded it, because never once during any part of that conversation before or after I got here, did you ever say, I'm contemplating doing X?
Well, yeah.
Never, ever did you say that.
Well, right.
Which logistically speaking, doesn't really mean much because most people that say they're going to do it are actually just looking for attention.
Correct.
So that's really not a telltale of anything.
God, other than I just need to be hugged right now.
Because in most cases, those people would probably try to send you home feeling like everything's okay the night that they decide to off themselves. Because that'll happen too.
I would
More
think that
often than not.
that would be more prone of the situation.
No, man, I'm good. I'm good. I'll talk to you tomorrow. It's good. We're good. We're good. We're good.
Well, yeah, I mean, think Robin Williams, the sad clown. He was there to make everybody happy, but he wasn't making himself happy.
Right. You smile enough.
You know, hopefully you start to believe your own shit.
And it helps like a little bit here and there, but it doesn't actually.
No, it does nothing. Yeah.
I'm so sad, Robin Williams. He had to remind me about that.
Sorry, bro. But I mean, he
started really making some deep movies too. I mean, with the goofball antics that he started his career out with, the fact that he got his deep, I mean, wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as you bring that up, same as I in my situation where I came to that realization where I'm tired. And if I'm going to stay here, if I'm going to be a part of this, then I damn well better do something with it. You know, while I had felt good about the mark that I had left, if I'm going to stick around, it better be bigger than that. You know, I think that's when, you know, you and I, with all of this, you know, I really started to lean in more to being vulnerable and expressing a authentic representation of my thoughts and feelings.
Well, my words must have kept echoing in your ears after that night, though. Because
I mean, which part?
Well, because I showed up and we were just gonna hang out, and I was like, "No, turn the fucking mics on."
Oh, dude, you started putting the equipment together.
I'm like, "How does this go together?" I'm like, "I'm gonna do it right now." You're like, "I'll get it." Geez, all right, fine. Hold on, give me a minute.
Well, yeah, because that was the.
But you realized I was serious, and you he didn't even try to argue with me. He really didn't. He was like, "All right, just this goes here. Let's do it."
Well, because I mean, in all honesty, that was the first time you were the one that was like, "All right, let's go. Come on, let's do it." It's always been me. All right, equipment's ready. Come on, guy, let's go. Let's get going. Come on, let's hit the button. And so you were that was your literal first time.
Like a liar.
And that's something we had touched on.
I would have felt like a liar that all this is bullshit. If we can't turn the mics on, and I said, had we not turned the mics on that night, I would have considered myself a liar. I would have felt like a liar that all this stuff that we're doing would mean nothing to me. It's fake. It's just props, and you know, we might as well just be writing screenplays at this point.
Well, yeah, and I mean that was something that we had definitely touched on, and you made point of through those recordings because it was like 3 hours worth, something like that. You had continued to touch on if you and I, in doing this, being true, authentic, showing actual vulnerability, letting people look into what it is to actually speak your mind, speak your piece, and have peace from it, then yeah, we would be hypocrites of our own work if we had not done that. And I agreed in it then, and I'll still agree to it now. That was definitely, and that's why I just made a statement of, I feel as though that's when I really started to lean into what we were doing on the vulnerable side, not just us hanging out, sitting in front of some microphones, you know, just conversing like we do.
And that was where I first had that daydream that I was just talking about, where, hey, if that did something for us, or if that recording affected one other person and pulled them out of their stupor to realize, sometimes it's just realizing you're not the only one going through crazy S. You know, everyone out here is having this argument in their head.
Yeah.
You're no different.
Yeah, it's just
I don't think so. I don't know because I'm in here.
But yeah, yeah, I would agree to that. I think the bigger thing is, individuals like you and I we're willing to admit that we have those thoughts, and that. I think that's the strength in all of that is that vulnerability. That's where the true, authentic emotions come from. Is to not care. To care so deeply that you could just zero F's given on what you think of me right now. I'm gonna speak my piece.
So you tell me all this stuff about how you're feeling and about how you don't care. And I think still at the time, it's filtering obviously through my ears into my brain a different way than you were saying it.
Right.
Because I'm still going off, and we haven't brought it up yet this episode, but the piece of my past history that brought me there in such a hurry that night had to do with something that happened when I was 13 years old, and my dad made an attempt on his own life. And like I said earlier in this episode, that I didn't want it to slip through my fingers, the opportunity that I had at that moment. If there was something I could have done, even if you had made up your mind after all anyway, at least I would know that I tried.
Yeah.
Because that day I feel like I dropped the ball. But what was a kid to do?
No shit.
So, long story short, he was leaving in the car. I saw something was wrong, and I let it go. I let it pass. I called his name. I told him I loved him. I did get a response, but it was like there was nobody home. I didn't pursue it. So, coming back to that moment with you, I felt like that when I was 13 could have turned out a lot differently. And not that I would have been to blame, but I would have then had that opportunity and missed it. And then now, so to me, that
Yeah.
was full circle. That was when
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
here and started talking about it, I realized what made me so upset was I wasn't defending your situation as much as I was scared shitless that I was going to be put in the same situation again and drop the ball
Yeah.
on somebody that I really, really care for. Um, that's the tough part. And that's one of the reasons why since that day with my father, I don't allow myself to get upset. I'm just it doesn't matter. I'm still living. Life is good.
And that's where I make
At some point you just got to detach.
well, yeah, and that's what the phrase that of me said. I just don't care anymore. That's you said detached.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. In the grand scheme of things, it's just
Or it can't matter.
and you'd made a point earlier of me as I've been going through all of these things, progressing in what I would deem as transcendence. My attempt is to just be. Nothing more, nothing less. No good, no bad, no right, no wrong. Just be. That's very difficult to do, I've come to find out. But it's also very fulfilling and very honest. It's an authentic life to live. And I really enjoy that.
See, and that's the thing about that. Uh, when it comes to virtuous nature, it's the desire just to be virtuous that you have to have first. Because it's not going to bring you money. It's not going to bring you fame. It's not always going to make you come out on top. It's going to be fucking tough. But if
Yeah.
you'd rather have it that way than any other, then you're a virtuous person. You wear it because you were honored to carry that banner.
Well, yeah, that made
Because
me.
if even if you come out on top, what good does it mean
Yeah.
if you've just thrown everything else asunder?
Well, yeah,
All the
that
things that really should matter to you in this life, you know.
that reminds me of the Jordan Peterson thing where he talks about somebody who's nice because they think they're supposed to be nice isn't actually a nice person.
Somebody's nice because they don't have the ability to be violent.
The monster that chooses to be nice is the nice person because they have to choose that. They're not choosing it because they have to. They're choosing it because that's what feels right to them.
He redefined meek as being one who carries a sword but chooses not to use it. Like yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold back. You
Yeah.
know, I'm gonna try and do the right thing, but I could.
Yeah. Just so we're aware.
I could.
Yeah. No, that's why I like the statements of detached, dropping the ego. You know, the person who I am today because of that event is very true, authentic, vulnerable, and real, and I owe some of that to you. You know, so just as
And we should have had a drink tonight, but
that's all right. Why you know?
that's a cheers moment right there.
Yeah, but we don't have to.
We could do pound. We could do.
Wait, I appreciate you, brother. But yeah, I mean that's as as and that's to me that's the thing is had me being there for you when you needed me, even though you didn't ask. You were there for me when I needed you and didn't ask. And I think that's something that's great about our relationship.
I mean, I kind of put you in that situation, so
I mean,
and I wasn't capable of asking anything.
well, and come to find out, I didn't inadvertently put you in that situation without. So but neither one of us questioned it. Neither one of us even thought. We just reacted and we did, and because of that, we're better people.
Agreed. I will not argue with that one.
Yeah, that's probably honestly. I think that's a really good spot to wrap it up. That's a nice culminating.
Yeah, no, that works.
But yeah, you at home, for real. If you think even for a microscopic second that you following your heart and doing something that is for the betterment of somebody other than yourself, it doesn't have to be as in extreme situations we're talking about now, but if you're given that opportunity, like you said, you got to take it because you may not have another chance.
Have that chance again.
Yeah, as well as,
and if it's nothing, you got nothing to lose. But
right,
if it is, and you miss that chance, like I said, things worked out with my dad, but it easily could have gone the other way, and I'd probably be kicking myself for the rest of my life that I didn't physically hurl myself at his body and say no.
Yeah,
because I knew something was wrong and I did nothing. So, anyway,
right.
And if any of this like really touches home with anybody out there, whether I know I was saying men in particular have difficulty finding outlets for emotions like this, but anybody out there needs to reach out to us. We always respond. We're always open ears.
Oh yeah, especially for something like this, we will absolutely respond. No ifs, ands, or buts. So if you feel the need, even if you have half a second of a thought, I should write this down. I should write these two. Do it.
Or maybe you did this for somebody else. Maybe you were a helping hand for someone else.
Yeah, share your story.
And hopefully still with this person in your life. Or maybe that person was you and you'd like to shout out to that other friend that helped you out. Definitely reach out to us. But either way,
Hit us in the comments.
Hit us in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the fact that we're really starting to embrace our vulnerability and being authentic and truly sharing. I think, like you said, especially men, but I mean, just people in general, we need this authentic aspect. You know, there needs to be authenticity behind what we're doing. There's so much fake everything nowadays that we need people to let us know that it's okay to feel and think and believe and share. So,
And
share.
don't always be so guarded, you know. We'll listen. I know you always feel like somebody doesn't and nobody will, but we'll listen.
Yeah. So,
and as I'm going to finish this off like we always do, because that's really appropriate. But
what's that? Oh,
your sign off is very appropriate.
I mean, it's our sign off. I mean, I say it, but it's what we do, and we do believe it. But yeah, fam. Yeah, hit him in the comments. Hit us in the comments. But yeah, we love you. We appreciate you. And as always, be good to yourself. Be good to everything else.
Much love.
Peace.
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 Yeah. Could be all serious like, yeah.
Mic in your mouth.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Every time. It's a thing. It's a thing. I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to manhandle this thing for a second. Why are you what?
Cast in the shadow.
We good?
Yeah.
All right.
Turn it up. Just rotate this that way.
Yeah.
Swivel it. It's
Just
okay.
a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, you at home.
There's definitely more to touch on there, but
And I touched your children, and I'm pretty sure they touched me. Oh my God. Instead of me masking all around, and it gives us that kind of almost like a halo in a sense.
yeah.
Now I'll actually be able to trace all the way out and around so that it masks completely, and then I can blur the entire background behind it. You know, halo at this point, because you wouldn't even see it.
The same rate.
Well, yeah, because that would be totally on the bottom side and you wouldn't see any of it. So it would just be the mask on top of it, and then everything behind it would be all blurred out. So there'd be no more halo at that point, but
Yeah.
it's whatever.
All right. Shop talk.
Ready for the clap?
be-
Ready for the clap? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the detached. Um,
6 or so. The cut. Move her along.
all right, and 1, 2, 3. Fucking love you, bro.
Word.
That's it? I don't get to love you back?
I love you too. Now it's just weird. It's just weird, bro. I'm gonna go.
Why'd you making me force it?
Gonna just go hit the button now. I'm telling you, man. Ba-da-ba-ba.